Welcome back, Truth Seeker. 13 years ago, I put out my first video, and it was about how the cabal pairs numbers together in rituals. And a common number pairing is 33 and 74. And as I stated in that video, sometimes they mix in a 47 with it. And all of those numbers point to Freemasonry, where the first degree of Freemasonry is the entered apprentice. And of course, Trump is now number 47, and he was once the apprentice. And tomorrow, on April Fool's Day, he's going to address the nation about the war in Iran on the 33rd day of the war, 74 days before his birthday. Yes, a Wednesday address. And, it's funny that April Fool's Day falls on a Wednesday because Wednesday is named after Mercury, and Mercury is known as the trickster, and April Fool's is a day for tricks. And I'm pretty sure that almost everything in the media is a trick and deceptive, and we're never really being told the truth. And the stories that we read about and see in the news, they're really just to control our minds and make us think we have a sense of what's going on and an understanding of why we pay all this money to government to keep us safe and do all the things it does, include make war. Our government always making war, like that country in 1984. But yeah, of course, the war began on February 28th, which was the anniversary of Operation Desert Storm ending, and it was the anniversary of the Temple coin coming out with Trump's head on it, and it was, to be more specific, the 8th anniversary of the Temple coin coming out with Trump's head, and that coin is to build the third temple, and funny enough, 8's the third composite number, but anyway, it will be the 33rd day of the war on April Fool's Day, and you learn gematria, this Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. You start to see why they put these certain numbers together all the time. Again, Masonry equates to 33. They venerate the number Masonry. How do you get that value? You take the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26, and you apply numerology to each letter. So, for example, when you get to M, the first letter in Masonry, it's the 13th letter. The numerology of 13 is 1 plus 3 is 4. So M is worth 4. A is 1. It's already a single-digit number, so A is 1. S, the 19th letter, becomes 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 becomes 1 plus 0 is 1, so S is 1. And you do that to each letter. You make it a single-digit number. O is 15, so 15 is... If you said 1 plus 5 is 6, O is 6, then you get it. N is the 14th letter, so N is 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, you got to do it the rest on your own. Practice makes perfect. But yeah, if you don't know the second word on that list, Drumpf, that's actually the true family name of Trump. Yeah, they were the Drumpf family. They changed their name about a century back to Drumpf, and I think they changed it to Trump on purpose. Again, these cabal families, they are living with a master plan that's seemingly decades out in advance. Remember, Trump is Mr. Tarot Cards. I told you this, why they would install him again in 2024. At age 78, there's 78 cards in the tarot deck. The top cards are Trump cards. The winner of the 2024 election took office with the 119th Congress. Tarot cards equals 119. Again, we talked about all this stuff about 4 years in advance. It's also why they called the election the first time around for Trump on November 9th. Don't forget that Cleveland equals 78, and Trump's the first split-term president since Grover Cleveland, and he had his convention in Cleveland in 2016, and Cleveland was a Mason. Isn't it funny how Netflix put out a show about Grover Cleveland right after the election? Anyway, all these words appear: Masonry, Drumpf, order, secrecy, federal. DC's the Masonic city. Don't forget the word Mason is 17, Masonry 33. The Masonic headquarters in DC is at the address 1733. And there's that creepy movie with Ethan Hawke where they kidnap children and they keep them in a dungeon that looks like a Masonic temple, and the password to get out is 1733. But yeah, I put up false flag and act of war and war games as 33 too, because it just reminds that DC is named after a Masonic war general, and these numbers get used in major ritualism all the time. Like, think about September 11th. That got us into, 2 decades worth of war? Those towers came down 33 years after construction began in 1968, which is the same year 911 was made the National Emergency Dialing Code, and George W. Bush graduated from Yale in Skull and Bones. and then he referred to what we did over there as a crusade. Don't forget, Governor Dewey in New York, put together the commission to build the World Trade Center on July 6, 1946, the same day that George W. Bush was born. And I just make these points to show you this stuff's way bigger than Chump, who's just the latest stooge in this office, the latest figurehead. But yeah, anyway, on the 33rd day of the war, he's going to address the nation of fools on April Fool's Day. And it really is a nation of fools because most people don't know anything about any of this information in the information age. They're too busy playing with themselves and God knows what else, playing video games and God knows what else, watching cartoons at age 50, obsessing over children's games at age 50. Anyway, that's the 33 part. And here's the 74 part. Again, it's 74 days before Trump's June 14th birthday. Masonic, Jewish, killing, occult, they're all 74. Remember, Masonry is based in Jewish teachings from the Torah. That's why sometimes it's referred to as Judaism for the Gentile. And the practice of coding numbers into words comes from Kabbalah, which is what Masonry is based in. Gematria 74, English 74. The Society of Jesus is what encoded the English language. That's why it pays tribute to Jesus. Again, the Templars, which are the precursor to the Jesuits, they brought this knowledge back from the Crusades, but it's the Society of Jesus that runs the show. Again, they moved the capital to D.C. Trump's Jesuit educated. He went to Fordham. But notice Jesus, Messiah, cross, parables, gospels, 74. What age did they say Jesus was put on the cross at? Age 33. Out of the 50 states, only one equals 74. By the way, I forgot to mention this cipher that we're looking at. It's just taking the alphabetic order without applying numerology to each letter. So again, up here we apply numerology. Here we don't. Here it's just the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. No numerology. M, the 13th letter, M is 13. A is 1. S is 19. O is 15. N is 14. I is 9. C is 3. Added up, Masonic. But anyway, again, out of the 50 states, only one equals 74 using this cipher. It's the 33rd state, Oregon. And this 74-33 thing, they do it all the time. The rig sports leagues, the ritualistic news, they put these numbers together like crazy. Jesus on the cross at 33. London divided into 33 neighborhood areas. Modern Freemasonry made in London. Notice Trump announces he's going to do this on April Fool's Day, the same day he sets his meeting with the king. And remember, Charles became the king right before his 74th birthday. And then on his 74th birthday, that's when you had the killing stories on Kings Road at University of Idaho and also at the Virginia Cavaliers with the football players. And again, King Charles in history was related to the Cavaliers because those who fought for King Charles in the English Civil War were Cavaliers. And keep in mind that this meeting with Charles, it comes right after the No King's Day protests, which were by the code. From the first No King's protest to the third one was exactly 41 weeks, like King's 41. And from the second one to the third one was 23 weeks. When you apply numerology, King is 23 like Donald. And it was right after the anniversary of King James's death, when Trump had the convention in Cleveland right after LeBron won the finals on the real King James's birthday, and then the second election in 2024, or I guess that was the third for Trump, but the second one that he won, that was on the anniversary of the Jesuits trying to kill King James, who died at 58, going with Trump getting 58% of the Electoral College in 2024, where in 2016, that was the 58th U.S. presidential election, and for the record, Freemasonry equals 58, like secret society. But yeah, another 3374 for The Apprentice. And we've been talking about this pattern since way before Donald Trump was even on the map to ever become president. Actually, the clue was always out there with Oprah interviewing him in 1988. Remember, Trump equals 88 in the most simple cipher, 47 when you run it in reverse. But she asked him in 88, did Oprah, do you ever want to be president someday? Oh, by the way, 4 weeks ago when the war began, Trump said the war would be over in 4 to 5 weeks. So now it's 4 weeks later, and Trump says, well, it's a little more than 4 weeks later, it's almost 5 weeks. Trump says it's going to be another 2 to 3 weeks. So he says this on March 31st. So 2 weeks from now is April 14th, the anniversary of Lincoln getting shot and the Titanic sinking, hitting the iceberg. And 3 weeks from now is April 21st, Rome's birthday, the anniversary of Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope dying. And, of course, April 19th is that big day for the Jesuits and the anniversary of Khomeini's birthday. And don't forget, we told you all year that they'd get rid of Khomeini before his birthday. They'd 86 him at age 86 when he was once installed as the leader of Iran on August 6th, 86. And don't forget, the CIA overthrew Iran on the Jesuit order's birthday in 1953. And no doubt it's been a boogeyman puppet state used to justify the military-industrial complex ever since. And if it wasn't a nation of fools, everybody would know that. By the way, Iran equals 42 like war, and we attacked Iran, supposedly, who knows what's real, on February 28th, 42 days after the anniversary of Eisenhower's speech about the military-industrial complex. Major league ritualism. So, yeah. We'll leave it there for now, True Seeker. And until next time.